join me and Olive. Somebody was asking about this in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. And instead of trying to type out a lifelong story, I thought I would try to make a video about it. I'm kind of in an uncomfortable position. I dislocated my hip last night. Super fun, not. And I'm trying to keep it aligned because it feels like it keeps slipping again. So you may see me shifting around because of that. So I've got the binder here because brain fog. You'd think I would remember everything, and if I try really hard, I do. But I thought it would just help to have my symptoms list that I've been working on pulled up here. Oh, and I got my hair cut. Yes. I think I said that in the videos that I was going to post. I don't know. Okay. You want to go under the covers? You can. She's under the covers, doggy. Alright, so let's talk about the life of Emma and her chronic illness. And by Emma, I mean me. We're talking about me, in case that wasn't clear. Let's see. So I'm 19 now. I'll be 20 in June. So 19 and a half. So obviously, well, not you. My health slowly got worse, and over several years, and symptoms that new things kept popping up. But then over the last, I want to say 2 years, 3 years, but especially this last year, things have just, the health problem, my quality of health has just like plummeted. So that's been kind of hard to cope with, but I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. My mom was just saying today that she thinks I'm the happiest it seems like I'm the happiest I've been in a long time, which, despite how much pain I'm in and, you know, how things are spiraling, I think it's true. I mean, these Facebook groups that I've joined, I feel at home, you know? I feel welcomed and supported, and I love that I can give support and just virtually be around people who understand what it's like really like to be dealing with a chronic illness like this. She just barked. So little Emma, not so little, I want to say 5 years old. So that would have been 2004. 5 or 6, I guess, was when I first started having muscle and bone aches. And, you know, it was just excruciating pain in my up and down my arms and my legs, and I was told it was growing pains, which, you know, I don't blame my parents for putting it off as such, because, you know, you can't really do much about growing pains, and growing pains are a very real thing. But I just remember thinking, like, growing pains like these, how can this possibly be normal? I'm in so much pain. I would be like crying myself to sleep, because it just hurt so much, and yeah, it's not normal, just so people which you probably already know if you're watching this video. Let's see. After the growing pains, the next thing that popped up was headaches. Infrequently, and then they got more and more regular. And let's see. You know, we did the whole drink more water. I went to the eye doctor so many times, and it was never anything related to that. And they started, over time they progressively got worse. So I didn't have my first migraine until, I didn't write it down, see? I want to say 2012. I think I had one that year, and it was like, it was awful. I had the whole aura thing before, which I don't really get anymore, which I guess is nice because I'm getting them all. I get migraines all the time. What it would be was that this part of my eye, I would lose the vision there. Like, it would just be gone, and it would always be really disorienting. It was really scary the first time because I didn't know what was going on. But in the later times, it would start off scary still because it's like, oh, wait, what's happening? And then you realize. But like, I would look at people, and this side of their face would just not be, couldn't see it. I would hold out my hands, and I wouldn't be able to see this hand, and it was really scary. I think I got one once while I was at a piano lesson, and I just like stopped being able to see my right hand, and it was like, oh my god, no, what? Around in 2012, actually, like, my head, I don't know what to do about this. In 2012, my family got whooping cough, pertussis, the cough from hell, which was, so that was in the fall of 2012. My mom got it first. And she went to her doctor. Well, she didn't really have she didn't have a primary care doctor, which is a whole other story that we don't need to get into. So she went and saw my grandparents' primary care doctor, and he told her it couldn't possibly be whooping cough because she was vaccinated. And he wouldn't listen to her, that she thought it was whooping cough. So he sent her away, and, you know, she just kind of thought, okay, I guess it's just a really bad cough, and I'll just wait it out. So then I think my brother got sick next, and then me, and then my sister, over the span of like a month and about a month. My dad never got sick, lucky him. But it was just awful. It was like the worst cough. It was, I had to have pillows propped up so that I was like basically sitting up at night, and I would wake up. I never threw up because of the coughing, but everyone else did, and it was just awful. Then, you know, because we didn't know it was whooping cough, we hadn't been as careful as we might have been, and one of my friends got it because we had a sleepover, and then the people in her family started getting, her mom and her brother, and she had a massive asthma attack and ended up at the hospital, and they tested her for whooping cough, and it came back positive, and they're like, hey guys, you should probably get tested too. So we had whooping cough. The thing is, we didn't get antibiotics until, for me, I think I'd had it for like a month. And the thing about the antibiotics for whooping cough is that after the 2-week window of being symptomatic, the antibiotics, they kill the bacteria and make it so you're not contagious anymore, but they don't do squat about the symptoms. So I coughed like that for a good, at least like 4 months before it started like calming down. So I'm telling you this because that was the last time my lungs were actually good, and they had been, you know, the cough kind of like died down, but then it had been like progressively getting worse over time until this last November, actually, when there were massive fires here in our state, and I ended up at the hospital twice because of asthma. So your girl has asthma now, or yeah, what triggered it. So that, I'm only going to touch really on the physical health side of things. I mean, mental health is physical health, but I'm going to differentiate them for here because that's a pretty long story on its own. So 2013, that is when my GI problem started. We actually went to, hang on, I need one. We went to Europe for a 3-month trip as a family. And the day of the plane ride there, on the plane, the symptoms started. I felt so sick on the plane at the end, and the walk from the wait in line at customs, and the walk to the train station, and the walk from the train station to our apartment was just awful, feeling so unwell. And that kind of like went up and down throughout the trip. Peaking at the end of our trip, last week and a half, less maybe, on the ferry ride from Greece to Naples. I didn't feel very well, but I assumed it was just the boat, because there would have been like a big storm and everything. And then the week we were in Naples, I was doing okay. It was a little but I was doing okay. And then the morning that my dad and siblings were flying home, and my mom and I were going up to Rome for 1 week, I woke up and I couldn't stop throwing up. It was so out of the blue, and we're like, okay, it's okay. Well, it's a fluke. It's okay. And then nausea passed throughout the day. But then the next morning it was back, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and it was just, that was how it was. I wasn't throwing up every day, but I was damn near close. The flight home was awful. Flying sick like that is no fun. And yeah, then it kind of just took off. Primarily manifesting as abdominal pain, cramping, nausea, and occasional throwing up, usually in the mornings, especially if I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep. So I went through all sorts of testing for that. I got tested for celiac, and I had x-rays done, and good old fecal testing. Gotta love that. And things came back negative. Sound familiar, anybody? Tests coming back negative? No? No? Just me? Cool. Wow, brain fog. So then they kind of like, my pediatrician kind of like sent me off and was just like, it'll go away. And it didn't. Shock and surprise, it did not just go away. So I think it was maybe a year later. It was either 6 months or a year and a half. I kept pushing to go back and be seen again. And, in my family, you don't really go to the doctor, or that's how it has been. So, it was a struggle. But eventually I did get in to see a gastroenterologist, a pediatric gastroenterologist at the big research hospital near us. Waited months for that. Big waste of time. Another fecal test for parasites, I think, because of the fact that it had started when we were traveling. I got some medication that didn't really work. I didn't really take, like nausea meds and something for like stomach cramps. The parasite test came back negative. And I got I think that was the first time I got the anxiety, bad family life, not that bad, you're faking it, that kind of vibe coming at me. Some of those things I was told, some of them it was just like a feeling. So, that's about where things stopped for a while. So I'm going to end here for part 1. Otherwise this video would be way too long. So I'll see you guys in part 2 for the next step.